Planet X TV.
Hey, thoroughly enjoyed spending time with Ivan. He's a mover and a shaker, and Laguna Beach is very lucky to have him. His Mozambique restaurant and music venue will give you an amazing experience, and it'll give you a taste of Southern Africa right here in SoCal. And be sure to check out Skyloft. You'll see why these restaurants are two of the most popular restaurants in Laguna Beach.
Only here on Planet X.
Hey there, I'm here with Ivan from Mozambique Restaurant and Live Music Venue. How you doing, Ivan?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. This is my first time to Laguna Beach, and I've been hearing some amazing things about this venue of yours. Tell us about it.
You know, bought the building about 16, 17 years ago, totally remodeled it, and then decided to add the roof deck on about 4 or 5 years ago. But the whole thing was supposed to be just music and South African and East African foods, which was the Portuguese food,
right.
the all the Indian immigrants,
Okay.
their food, and then some of the South African traditional food. So we blended it all together, and I was born up towards Mozambique, and as
Oh, you
kids,
were? Oh, fantastic.
yeah.
Okay.
And as kids, we went to Mozambique all the time, and there was nothing like Mozambique peri-peri chicken, peri-peri prawns.
Right.
And everybody in South Africa ate Mozambique prawns and peri-peri chicken. So, and I love the name Mozambique. It was always a dear place
nice
to me
name.
as growing up,
Yeah.
going there as a kid. So
Okay.
that's how it became Mozambique. And the building looked like a building that was in those days, Lorenzo Marx. Now it's called Maputo.
Right. So it needed some help when you first got here.
It was empty for 7 years.
Right.
Needed help. Was falling down.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And so what actually brought you here to, I guess, the USA and then to Laguna? Why Laguna? Why did you choose Laguna?
You know, what brought me to the USA, always wanted to come here, grew up in South Africa, lived in England for 3 years.
Right.
And when I finally got to the States, ended up in Northern California in Monterey, surfed with a bunch of guys in the Canary Islands. And they were all from Salinas, Monterey, Carmel.
Okay.
And they said, if you ever stop over, come and see us. This is in the 70s.
Right.
I'm an old guy.
I wasn't around then.
You weren't around, I was, unfortunately. So, worked on the farms up there during the summer, and ended up and then left in 72 to go to Asia to work for my uncle that opened a bank.
Okay.
Asia in 73, Hong Kong. Well, we went to Japan, we went to Korea, and then I ended up in Hong Kong. Wasn't a place I wanted to stay, being 22 years old.
Sure.
Ended up and then went to Australia.
You've got a
little moth on me.
freeloader.
Freeloader, whatever. Okay. And then went to Australia.
You went to Australia. Okay.
Yeah.
Whereabouts in Australia did you go?
Supposed to stay in Melbourne, but
That's where I'm from.
you are from Melbourne, yeah. And then my cousins weren't around, so
Okay.
ended up in Sydney.
Okay.
Stayed there for about 6 months, and then got injured playing rugby.
A rugby player. Oh, are you sure you're not Australian?
No.
Come on.
I'm not Australian.
I don't know. Our accents. Actually, we don't have accents. It's the Americans that have the accents. That's right. But we sound very similar.
Do we? Yeah. So, in Australia, I needed medical attention, so I had to go back to South Africa. I went back and stayed there a couple of years and came back in 75 and went to Northern California and worked in a few restaurants and got into the apparel business. Still in the apparel business, and then unfortunately we all got divorced and I moved to Southern California because I had to restart my businesses. I had 29 huge stores in Northern California.
Right.
Sold them and moved to Southern California.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
And so why Laguna? Why Laguna Beach?
I had a lot of friends living down here.
Okay. Okay. And was there more to it than that though? What is it about Laguna Beach that?
Laguna Beach is like Cape Town, small Cape Town.
Really?
It's like
Okay.
like a small Cape Town. I know I grew up more in Durban because at 13 we moved to Durban,
Right.
but just always loved Cape Town.
Fantastic, fantastic. And now, yes, you've got the restaurants. Now we know all about Skyloft and Mozambique because they're two of the most popular places here in Laguna Beach. Thank you very much to Mr. Ivan. So tell us about the whole musical side. So it's live music here, and you've got, as far as I know, a really deep past. I hear there's a Daryl Hall and John Oates in there somewhere.
Daryl Hall is in there. We have Daryl's house back in. It's on the New York side of. Closest place would be Greenwich or Danbury. On the New York side, yeah.
Okay.
It's called Daryl's House, and we have music 5 nights a week there. And now we're opening up in Albany, April 24th, 1,000-seater. A restaurant, music, 7 nights a week.
Nice. I was a spring chicken, at the time. Hall and Oates were around, but I do remember that song "Man Eater."
Oh, Man Eater.
Whoa, here she comes. Watch out, boys, she'll chew you up. Whoa, here she comes.
And they normally
She's
do.
And and I've got to tell you, I'm actually a wildlife specialist,
Okay.
funny enough. So I've worked with some of the most dangerous creatures on the planet, giant crocodiles, lions, grizzly bears. But I have to say, we must take extra precaution if there is a fine lady in the vicinity. Would you agree?
Absolutely. Yeah, I've been around some wild animals growing up.
I bet you have.
Military over there. I mean,
You're in the military.
Yeah.
Oh, tell us.
we all had to go to the military
You did.
in those
Right.
days. Yeah,
Yeah.
before you could leave. Yeah,
Is
and
that right?
yeah, you had to. It was mandatory,
Okay.
and you couldn't get out of it. Not one of my funnest times of my life.
I bet. My grandfather told me about his time, and
Yeah, well,
he never liked to talk about it. He said it's a time in his life.
it's
Didn't
gone,
want
it's
to talk
there.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us about the music scene here. What sort of people do you have coming and playing?
You know what? Now my mind goes blank. I mean, last night we had from Jethro Tull, Martin Barr.
wow.
Martin Barr was here for
Okay.
2 nights. Killed it. He wrote most of the music for Jethro Tull. And he had musicians with him that were just beyond. I mean, we've had a lot of people just pass through and come there. I'm just drawing a total blank. I don't
You've had that many come through, and how many nights a week is there live music?
know. In the wintertime, 5. In the summertime, we go to 6 or 7. It just depends who we're getting through. Now we're getting more and more headliners wanting to play small venues.
Okay.
Yeah, so in Mozambique, because of Daryl's house, they say, hey, we're on the West Coast, we got a free night. Can we come down and play?
Right.
Yeah, and they're in LA or they're traveling from San Diego up here. And these guys are normally, they normally play 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,000 seater.
Wow.
Yeah, and they've all been famous. I mean, oh gosh, I wish I could remember his name.
But they're picking your place. They want to come and play here.
Because of the equipment and the whole sound systems we
That's
have.
what I hear. So I have heard about the sound system. It's second to none.
Yeah, I mean, you can't get any better. Skyloft here, Daryl's house, the new one in New York, the one we're working on in Columbus, Ohio. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And now the Skyloft Bar, tell us a little bit about that. I hear it's the rage also.
Okay, Skyloft Bar's younger.
Right.
A lot younger. It was a dead restaurant. It was out of business. Nobody walked up those stairs.
Right.
And I put a roof deck on and put the sound in there, and it's done very well.
Did you have a Frank Sinatra singer there
that
not long ago?
Yeah, yes, we did. And I can't think of his name.
I've been there.
Yeah, I've been there. We've also had, Frank Stallone.
Okay.
Frank, who can do Frank Sinatra and can do
really?
anything better. I mean, he wrote most of the
I
music
didn't know
for
that.
for
Okay.
Sylvester's movies.
Is that right?
Yeah,
That's really interesting.
yeah. I actually got to go back to Daryl's house with him, and he did I don't remember who the main. I can't remember, but I met Joe Walsh and Daryl here eating peri peri prawns.
Oh, that's actually how you met Daryl?
That's how I met him.
Wow.
Yeah. Then he said,
Some
"Why
things
don't
are
you
meant to be.
Yeah, he said, come back and watch the show. Yeah. See us record it. And I said, okay, where do I go? He said, Millerton, I think it was Millerton, New York. And I said, what the hell's that?
Right.
Where the hell is that?
Right.
We figured it out. And, you know, and the restaurant in New York is getting more and more successful, and better bands are playing.
Yeah, right.
And now, Albany didn't want to do it, but up there's nothing for them to do, and there's nobody. You can go watch a concert, but you can't have fun, drink, and party, and
Sure.
and I mean, interact with other people. That's the whole key, is interacting with people.
Yeah.
And
One of the normal venues where you're buying tickets, you go in, you sit down, you grab your seat.
and when it's
watch the
over,
music,
it's
done,
over.
you leave.
No,
Yeah.
this is total interaction. Yeah, and here too we have music down in the Durban room, which is amazing. We have jazz. Tonight we have a great piano player, jazz singer. We have Sunday brunch jazz, and whoever comes to play. And we've had a lot of great people come through here. Africa and the African people are just beautiful people.
Right.
Yeah, and growing up, my first language was Zulu before I even spoke English.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Say something to us in Zulu, because I've never heard Zulu other than when they go.
No. Just yabonga kakululu unkulumulumarana, which means thank you for talking to me tonight.
Oh no, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
So tell us about where you grew up. What was it like?
It was very rural.
Try and give us a real
Very
detail.
rural.
Right. So it was rural.
Rural. I mean, we supplied everybody had wood or coal to fire up their boilers, to heat, to cook anything, wooden coal stoves.
Oh, wow.
The electricity was very sketchy.
Yeah. Sounds like Big Bear.
Yeah, Big Bear. But it was just very, and we just roamed, because there was hundreds and hundreds of acres to roam.
Yeah. No.
And then they finally they tarred the roads, and everything used to come by rail. And they finally tarred the roads, and I think my dad sold all the property to the government for railroads.
Oh wow.
He-
Well, he bought the railroads. Basically, bought your dad out.
Yeah, and we moved to Durban.
Hey everybody, great time here with Ivan. Thanks so much. Can't wait to try your food and have a listen to all this great music that you've got here and all these great artists.
You're welcome. Come
Thank you.
anytime.
Fantastic.
Look forward to it.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
Thank you.
Hey, thoroughly enjoyed spending time with Ivan. He's a mover and a shaker, and Laguna Beach is very lucky to have him. His Mozambique restaurant and music venue will give you an amazing experience, and it'll give you a taste of Southern Africa right here in SoCal. And be sure to check out Skyloft. You'll see why these restaurants are two of the most popular restaurants in Laguna Beach.
Planet X TV.